In the context of buying turnkey rental properties, when we're talking about buying them from turnkey rental property providers, not just a property that's in turnkey condition, the idea when you're buying from a turnkey rental property provider is that you are getting a fully turnkey property. So three major things are happening. The rehab is fresh or freshly done or redeveloped, whatever the case may be. The property is in freshly rehabbed condition. That's one. Two, you have tenants in the property and paying rent, which means that's what allows you to make money on the very day that you close on the property. You're making cash flow from day one because there's a tenant paying. And three, there's property managers on standby to manage the property for you. So that way you're as hands-off as possible. You still have to do things like due diligence and all that, but you're as hands-off as possible. There is a situation with some turnkey providers where either this is a regular practice for them or sometimes things can just kind of happen, but it's selling you the property before there's tenants in and paying. And in most of the cases when the turnkey providers try and tell you to do this or convince you to do this, it really, there's holding costs on their side. So it makes sense that they want to get rid of the property. But the problem is that you're not totally getting a turnkey property at that point. Here's the two major risks, I think, as to what happens when you are willing to buy or close on the property before tenants are in. Two things. Number one, you don't know how long it's going to take to put tenants in the property, for starters. So you could, maybe they're predicting it's going to take a month, maybe it takes a few months. And in most cases, the turnkey provider usually offers to give you like a rent guarantee or pay you the amount in rent that they expect to get. So you're covered. They're not leaving you hanging for the vacancy. But if there's an expiration time on how long they're going to pay you that rent guarantee, if it takes longer than that to find tenants, that's on you. Like, you don't know what that vacancy period is going to be. And I've heard of stories of it being really long, or it ended up there just being problems to find tenants. So that's one major problem. The second is one of the biggest, if not the most, well, I guess one of the biggest benefits of turnkeys is that you get the chance, a very unique chance, to verify everything you can about the property before you close on it. The condition of the property, how much it's getting in rent, all these things you get to verify. If there's no tenants in and paying, you don't know for sure that you're going to be able to get tenants in paying the amount that is being estimated by the turnkey provider. Let's say they assume you're going to get $1,200 a month in rent, but you end up only being able to rent it out for $1,000 a month. That's a problem. And you don't know that because you can't verify that before, because the tenants aren't already there. So you don't have a guarantee on what kind of tenants the property is going to attract. You don't have a guarantee on exactly what they're going to pay. And, it just leaves some extra unknowns. While one of the biggest arguments for turnkeys is that you get to verify so many things before you close. You don't get to do that in most of real estate investing. So again, there are providers that, it actually bothers me that it's a common practice to close on the house with the investor before the tenant's in. Not the end of the world, and it can work out perfectly fine. And most of the time they do have some kind of guarantees in place, but I have seen time and time again where those guarantees don't really make up for what ends up happening. They may, but they may not. So not all turnkey provider companies force you to close without a tenant. Most of them, at least the ones I work with, will wait until a tenant is in and paying before they will let you close on the property. And back to that verification thing real quick, when the tenant's already in there, you can actually double check that you personally approve of this tenant also. You can look at their lease, you can look at their qualifications and say, yeah, okay, yeah, I'm cool with them. Versus, getting back to that verification thing. But anyways, so no, you absolutely do not need to close on a turnkey property from a turnkey provider that doesn't have tenants in it. And personally, I don't recommend it. If it was kind of one of the only options, then fine, whatever. But there are so many turnkey providers that do not make you do that. So again, do it at your own will, but understand the risks that you're taking on by doing so. My personal opinion.